process that was midwifed by the Senate, because those motions came here, they were passed by the House, money was sent to counties. Our joy should be that we go to these counties, we go to Isiolo, we go to Tharaka-Nithi, and see those projects being launched. Then we feel proud as senators. But Madam Speaker, when these projects are stalled, and when you look at the reasons, it's a shame. If you read page 19, the CS said that some of the challenges that were faced included, one, issues dealing with supervision, issues dealing with lack of good management of the projects, bureaucracies arising from project implementation model. This should never happen, Madam Speaker, because when you are designing a project, you must input how you will supervise that project so that you are able to complete it within the projected contract period. How can our counties be telling us 12 years into devolution that they have inadequate capacity at counties to supervise projects? Okay, I don't think those are excuses that we can take as Senate. Even the excuse of lack of funds from national government should not be convincing. I can give you an example, Madam Speaker. Our county headquarters in Nyamira, we are still being housed by the county commissioner. The county headquarters that were launched by our late governor, Mzee John Yagarama, have not been completed to date. And this idea of a governor who takes over from an outgoing governor, not wanting to complete projects that were commenced or initiated by his predecessor, is something that should not happen in government. We have what we call succession in government. There is what we used to call, Madam Speaker, perpetual succession in government. When you come on board and you find a project that was being initiated by your predecessor, you continue with it. Even this financial year, Madam Speaker, in my own county of Nyamira, the allocation is a paltry 30 million to complete the county headquarters, meaning that the current governor is not giving that project a priority because it was initiated by the previous governor, the late John Yagarama. And at times, this leaves room for speculation. I have no evidence at all. But when you put your ears on the ground, people will tell you that the commission was given to the other administration. So I need to commence my own projects so that I get something. Already, we are breaking ground for an industrial park. We, as a county, want to pump 250 million to the industrial park. Why, Madam Speaker, our county headquarters remain unfinished for over 10 years. Doesn't make economic sense. If I was the governor in office, I would have prioritized, Madam Speaker, completing the county headquarters, Madam Speaker, and then maybe another governor who succeeds me can initiate the county headquarters, Madam Speaker, and then allocate more money there. Our stadium, Manga Stadium, remains again incomplete. It's like a stalled project. And all this boils into the issue of a governor who takes over saying, I'll not complete projects that were initiated by a previous administration. It's not the good thing, Madam Speaker. I've seen roads in my county that were launched by our retired President Uhuru Muigai Kibaki. I've not seen President William Ruto saying, because those roads were launched by our former president, he will not continue those projects. We took over at PSC. We found Bunge Towers. Bunge Towers was launched when Marende was Speaker. Those days, I think, when Mungatano was in National Assembly. Retired Speaker Muturi continued for his 2 tenures as Speaker, Chairman of PSC. We came in and we gave it priority. We completed it, and members are now occupying it. So I plead with the chair of finance to impress our governors to give priority to projects that we have, where money has already been spent, substantial amount of money has been spent. All they need is to just put a substantial budget, they finalize the project, and life continues. Madam Speaker, if you go to Machakos, you will see what Governor Mutua did. He did beautiful county headquarters. When you go to Machakos, you feel proud. You see fruits of devolution. That's how devolution should be working. You just sit and you say, yes, these are the county headquarters of Machakos. In fact, you went further and even did some sub-county headquarters. You go to Matu, you will find that Governor Mutua did another sub-county headquarters for the county government of Machakos. Why can't Isiolo, Nyandarua, Tharaka-Nithi do something and complete their county headquarters? Why can't Nyamira, Madam Speaker, 12 years into devolution, not have a county headquarters? When the Gen Zs demonstrated on Tuesday, they went to that building, occupied it, and they were demanding that we want this building to be completed. What a shame to us as leaders. What a shame to our colleagues who are governors. How can Gen Zs be demonstrating, demanding that projects should be completed, launched, so that they can be proud members of those counties? We need to call out our governors and urge them to put aside this issue of you must get something, your hands must be greased before you finish a project. That is not what should inspire leadership. Leadership is transformative, Madam Speaker. If you do a county headquarters for Nyandarua, for Isiolo, for Tana River, that's posterity. Future generations will remember that Senate Governor so-and-so is the one who left behind this beautiful county headquarters. We remember Kibaki for Thika Highway. We will remember President Uhuru for the expressway. Maybe President Uhuru will also do something. We will remember him. You as a governor, what do you want to be remembered for? My governor in Nyamira, what do you want to be remembered for? That Gen Zs came to demonstrate against you? No. You should be remembered that you took over 4 years into your administration, you did something. If there is no Manga Stadium, there is no county headquarters, what will the people of Nyamira remember you for? So, Madam Speaker, I want to commend the chair, and I want to encourage him to have a further discussion with IGTRC to give priority to governors of these 5 respective counties to prioritize these projects, complete them, and as a good way of appreciating our chairman, they complete these projects while he's still senator. I know people of Mandera may give him a second term, but it will be a good thing if they can finalize these projects during his first tenure as chair of finance and budget, and then he can invite us to go and open these projects. This idea, marking scheme does not reflect very well on us as a country. Madam Speaker, we have so many grants that go to our counties. Like me, we are receiving about 150 million to support agriculture. But if the report we have is that counties don't have capacity to implement projects, how will our donors be encouraged to give us money, Madam Speaker? I really want to plead to our friends, chief executives in counties, to style up, transform our counties, Madam Speaker, complete our hospitals, do our roads. I don't think we came up with counties so that we can just have marams. I also want to walk to my county of Nyamira, Madam Speaker, and tell my people that my governor, whom I worked so hard to ensure that he gets money from Nairobi, has done even 5 kilometers of tarmac, Madam Speaker. We don't want to go to counties and all that we can see is maram. What you are seeing in these county headquarters is replicated in water projects, Madam Speaker. You go to a county, I was looking through the audit report from Nyamira, Madam Speaker, you find beautiful projects identified. You are told the county government will do 20 boreholes, one in each ward, in our 20 wards. But when the auditor is doing an assessment, he says there was no proper use of money. There was no value for money for the people of Nyamira because the boreholes were sunk, but no electricity was connected, no solar, no piping to homes. And he returns a verdict and says there was no value for money for the people of Nyamira. He says a project called Nyandoche Vere in Nyanshongo ward was drilled, but nothing happened. It's a ghost project. You go to another project in the same sub-county, Madam Speaker, you find the same report. 17 million spent, no no connection of pipes to homes, no value for the people of Nyamira. Madam Speaker, if you drill a borehole, connect pipes to homes, tell the people that have supplied you water, support me to sustain the project by paying for the water you are consuming. That's the only way, Madam Speaker, devolution will have meaning to our people. And those governors who are engaging in taking kickbacks, who don't want to complete projects by predecessors, like projects started by Senator Captain Ali Roba, it's a shame. Madam Speaker, it's a shame. And the Gen Z has shown us that they can knock on our doors, Madam Speaker. They have demonstrated that they want to put the bar very high for governance. These guys want results, Madam Speaker. They want results. So our governors should style up, don't put kickbacks as a priority, complete projects for our people so that we can transform this country. With those remarks, Madam Speaker, I support.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Ali Roba, the mover of the motion, please reply.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I beg to reply, and I want to take this opportunity to thank all our colleagues, Senator Mungatana, who actually was more diligent than his own governor in following up these issues as we are trying to get this request tidied up. Madam Speaker, the request came to us from the Council of Governors, and this in itself is a milestone achievement for the Senate. The Council of Governors made a request that these 5 counties are affected, on average about 8 years of implementing county headquarters. And this happened because they relied on being sponsored by the national government, while other county governments opted to finance the construction of the county headquarters themselves. And what the resultant impact of that, Madam Speaker, is that because of depending on funds inflow from national government, the projects have ended up stalling, and their request was, can then the Senate help them in engaging the critical stakeholders like the National Treasury, the Ministry of Public Works, who are supervising the projects, as well as the Intergovernmental Technical Committee, to be able to smoothly find a way these projects can be handed over to them. And the resultant, the money that was promised by the government, the national government, in form of construction of supplement for construction of county headquarters, also to be transferred to them by way of conditional grant. And then if there are gaps, because a lot of time has lapsed, definitely there is bound to be some variation. Then these county governments take full responsibility to bridge the gaps that is going to come up, and whatever monies that are going to be transferred to them by way of conditional grant, they need to also take full responsibility for the accountability for that money. We managed to engage these stakeholders very successfully, and I want to thank the immediate former Minister for Finance, Professor Ndungu, who was extremely receptive to the idea, and the engagement took us a little bit of time. However, eventually we managed to have consensus with all the stakeholders, and we managed to get that project transferred successfully to the 5 county governments, that is Tharaka Nithi, Isiolo, Tana River, Lamu, as well as Nyandarua. And as at the time of the handing over, Madam Speaker, these projects initially the county government promised 1.815 billion. However, the national government only managed to release 837 million to these counties, leaving a balance of 977 unreleased. Now, during the process of engagement, we also managed to convince the National Treasury to include in the 2 subsequent county additional allocation bills that we had, that one of the 2023-2024, where it's an act of parliament now, 454 million has already been included. And we also managed to push further to get in the current county additional allocation that we are processing for the financial year 2024-2025, we also have 445 million included, and leaving only from what the national government has promised a balance of about 78 million shilling that has not been factored in, which before the minister was, the cabinet was dissolved, we were engaging the cabinet and already agreed that it should be included in the current county additional allocation bill to conclude the part of the contribution from the national government. Now, I would like to take this opportunity, Madam Speaker, to urge our governors, the 5 governors, to expeditiously open special purpose account to facilitate the funds flow under the conditional grant to be able to be sent to them. And then these projects, they need to take the bull by the horn. I know, based on experience, that if a project that was started 8 years ago, the cost of completing it now will definitely be more than the cost of tendering. They should not use that as an excuse. They need to top up what's required, because other than the 5 counties that were lucky but also unlucky to have been sponsored by the national government for construction of county headquarters, the remaining 42 managed to build their own county headquarters using the shareable revenue they were receiving and the own source revenue, meaning they also need to be obligated to make sure these projects are finished and the public can benefit from the projects. Madam Speaker, I also wish to report, I know this agenda has really remained on the order paper for a long time, but during that process, the handover has taken shape already. The governors have taken full responsibility for the project, and we hope and pray that in about 12 months' time, all those projects need to come to conclusion, particularly in terms of structures. Madam Speaker, I beg to reply. However, pursuant to Standing Order 66.3, I request the putting of the question to be deferred to a later date. Thank you.
Yes, the putting of question is deferred to a later date, and I hope the committee will do a follow-on report when the completion of the projects are done, so that they can report to the House. Next order number 23. Is it 24? Sorry. Order number 24.
Order number 24. Report of the Select Committee on County Public Accounts on its consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of West Pokot County Assembly for the financial year 2018-2019 and reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Isiolo, Kiambu, Kitui, Marsabit, Narok, Nyamira, Trans Nzoia, West Pokot, and Murang'a County Assemblies for the financial year 2019-2020.
The chair of this committee, Senator Kajun, is not here. The order is deferred. Point of order.
Mr. Speaker, the chair of this is Honorable
It's
Ososi.
not Mr. Speaker.
Madam Speaker, the chair of the Special Accounts Committee is Honorable Ososi. And then from our iPad, it appears that this motion had been moved and seconded, so we are due for debate from our iPads, unless I'm reading a different information. So we would like to make a contribution. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Senator, this motion was moved by Honorable Senator Kajwang, and he had not finished moving the motion. He had a balance of about 15 minutes before he could conclude moving the motion, so it's premature. So the order is deferred. Next order.
Order number 25, motion, establishment of national teaching and referral hospitals in Kenya.
Senator Mwaruma, I believe this is Senator Mwaruma. He's not in the House, so the motion is deferred. Next order.
Order number 26, motion, county governments to set aside land for the planting of indigenous trees.
Senator Richard Onyonka, he is not in the House to move the motion. This order is deferred. Honorable Senators, there being no other business on the order paper, the Senate stands adjourned until Tuesday, 23rd July 2024 at 2:30.